In the world of coin collecting, few coins capture the imagination of both beginner and professional collectors quite like the legendary 1935 no-mint mark Buffalo nickel. This coin, steeped in American history and artistry, has become a symbol of numismatic beauty, rarity, and the astonishing value that small pieces of metal can hold. Today, we are going to dive deep into the story, the design, the minting process, the errors, the grading secrets, and the jaw-dropping market value of this stunning 1935 Buffalo nickel, a coin that can fetch up to an unbelievable $14 million. If you have a jar of old nickels lying around, or perhaps coins handed down from grandparents, this might just be the story that changes your life forever. Before we get into the details, let's set the stage. The year was 1935. The United States was emerging from the Great Depression. Money was scarce, and every nickel had value far beyond its face amount. The Buffalo nickel, officially known as the Indian head nickel, was already a beloved design circulating in the hands of millions of Americans. Created by sculptor James O. Fraser, this coin was more than just a 5-cent piece. It was a tribute to the strength and heritage of America's native peoples and the enduring spirit of the American frontier. The 1935 no-mint mark Buffalo nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time did not place any mint marks on its coins. While tens of millions were produced, only a small fraction have survived in pristine condition. Over the decades, many have been worn down through daily use, lost in the ground, or melted for metal value. But among collectors, the ones that survived in mint state or with certain rare errors have achieved legendary status. These are the coins that make headlines when sold at auctions, fetching millions of dollars, with one particular example valued today at an astonishing $14 million. So, what makes the 1935 no-mint mark Buffalo nickel so valuable? To understand that, we must explore a combination of rarity, history, condition, and a touch of mystery. The design itself is a masterpiece. On the obverse, or front, we see the proud profile of a Native American chieftain. Fraser famously said that this was a composite portrait based on 3 real Native Americans, Iron Tail, 2 Moons, and possibly John Big Tree, each lending their features to create one of the most iconic faces in American coinage. The expression is bold, strong, and deeply detailed, showing the spirit of the American West. On the reverse, the design features the mighty American buffalo, standing firm on a mound. Many believe the buffalo was modeled after Black Diamond, a bison that lived in the Central Park Zoo in New York City. The creature's rugged stance and powerful frame perfectly captured the wild energy of the American plains. The combination of these two images made the Buffalo nickel an instant classic, and one of the most beloved designs ever struck by the U.S. Mint. The 1935 issue marked the final years of the Buffalo nickel series, which ran from 1913 to 1938. By this point, the dies were heavily used, leading to striking variations, weak details, and some fascinating minting errors. Collectors often seek out these variations, as they can drastically increase the coin's value. Among the most famous varieties of the 1935 Buffalo nickel is the so-called doubled die version. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been engraved twice, slightly offset from the first impression. The result is doubling in the details, especially visible in the date, or the lettering of the words, Liberty, and 5 cents. A well-defined doubled die can elevate the coin's value from a few dollars to hundreds of thousands, and in ultra-rare cases, even millions. Now, what makes the 1935 no-mint mark nickel that reached $14 million so special? Experts believe this particular coin was a proof-like strike that somehow escaped the mint with unusual luster and nearly perfect surfaces. It was preserved untouched for decades, showing mirror-like brilliance and razor-sharp detail. Graded by one of the top grading services, possibly PCGS or NGC, it achieved the highest possible designation for a Buffalo nickel, something so rare that it instantly became one of the most desirable coins in the world. Collectors go crazy for coins like this because they tell a story. The 1935 Buffalo nickel represents a disappearing era, the end of the frontier, the closing chapter of an American design that was both artistic and symbolic. It embodies craftsmanship from a time when coins were miniature works of art. That connection to history, combined with its rarity and condition, fuels the astronomical prices we see today. When we look at the market trends, the Buffalo nickel series continues to rise in value year after year. Even average circulated examples from the 1930s can fetch a few dollars, but the high-grade examples, especially those graded mint state 65 or higher, can command hundreds or thousands. Proof-like and error examples take this to another level. The $14 million coin stands at the pinnacle, representing a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Imagine for a moment finding one of these coins in your collection. You could easily mistake it for an ordinary nickel. After all, its face value is just 5 cents. But under the right light, with sharp details and original mint luster, it could be the ticket to life-changing wealth. Many collectors and treasure hunters still check rolls of nickels from banks, flea markets, and estate sales, hoping to uncover one of these rare survivors. Let's talk about what to look for if you think you might have a valuable 1935 Buffalo nickel. The first thing is to check the mint mark. The 1935 no mint mark indicates it was struck in Philadelphia. Examine the date carefully. It should be crisp, not worn off. Because Buffalo nickels were prone to wear, the date often fades quickly, which dramatically lowers value. A full, sharp date is essential. Next, examine the details in the hair, feathers, and the buffalo's fur. The stronger and clearer the design, the higher the grade. Another crucial element is the full horn detail. On the buffalo's right horn, if the entire horn is visible and sharply struck, collectors call it a full horn strike, and that increases the coin's desirability. Coins lacking that detail are often considered lower grade, even if they appear shiny. For serious collectors, grading is everything. The coin grading scale runs from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no flaws visible under magnification. Most Buffalo nickels fall in the 10 to 40 range due to circulation wear. Finding one in mint state, MS-60 or higher, is rare enough, but finding a flawless MS-68 or MS-69 1935 no mint mark Buffalo nickel is nearly impossible. That's what makes these ultra-high-grade specimens worth millions. It's also important to consider toning, the natural color that develops on a coin's surface over time. Some 1935 Buffalo nickels have stunning rainbow toning caused by chemical reactions with the air. Collectors love this unique patina because it gives each coin a one-of-a-kind appearance. A perfectly toned example can fetch significantly more than an untuned one of the same grade. Now, let's look at auction history. Over the decades, various examples of the 1935 Buffalo nickel have appeared in major auctions hosted by Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other premier houses. In one famous sale, a pristine 1935 no mint mark Buffalo nickel with full horn detail and extraordinary luster fetched a multi-million-dollar bid, shocking the numismatic community. Since then, private collectors and investors have pushed the value even higher, culminating in the $14 million record-setting valuation we know today. What's remarkable is that the value of coins like this doesn't only depend on rarity. Emotional connection, historical significance, and collector demand play major roles. The Buffalo nickel is part of America's identity. It evokes nostalgia for a simpler, more rugged era. That emotional power, combined with the tangible beauty of the coin, keeps it in high demand. Even if you don't have the million-dollar version, a well-preserved 1935 Buffalo nickel can still be an excellent investment. The more you learn, the better your eye becomes at spotting treasures others might overlook. Many great finds have been made by everyday people who simply took the time to look closely at their change. The story of the 1935 no mint mark Buffalo nickel isn't just about money, it's about history, artistry, and discovery. Every scratch, every detail, every toning mark tells a story of where the coin has been and how it survived through the decades. And who knows, maybe one of those stories ends with a $14 million surprise. Thank you for joining us in exploring the incredible 1935 no mint mark Buffalo nickel, a coin that continues to amaze collectors, historians, and investors alike.